Yo, welcome to the Mile High Hotspur. My name is Leo Coys. We're gonna be discussing the 3-3 match that we just seen. Um, it could have went either way, my homies, at the beginning, towards the beginning of the match. Obviously, things weren't going our way. Towards the end of the match, there, it seemed like we ended up pulling it back, my homies. Big up everybody that's tuning in. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, Gonna just pull some stuff up here on the phone that I have ready. A bit of talking points. There is a poll in the chat if you guys would like to participate in that. My homie Crash, the link is it is in the chat. I didn't send it out because this was kind of a last minute thing, but the link is in the chat if anybody wants to hop on, of course. My homie, how are you doing? I'm gonna pull up some talking points right now. Bear with me, my homies. Bear with me. Crash, my homie. Always welcome. Let's do it, my homie. Let's go. It was just very super last minute, bro, and I would have felt bad, but let's go. Um, so yeah, there we go, my homies. We do have stuff to talk about. We do have stuff to talk about. But like I said, I'm just getting some talking points transferred from the phone over to. Let's go. We'll do this here. We'll do this here. We'll do this here. All right, let's get to it, my homies. First of all, I gotta pop this up in case Crash comes walking through. Um, yeah, that's not gonna work, my homies. That is not gonna work. Let's go. We'll just pop it back up here. So let's just go, my homies. Things that I got down. Seattle opened up pretty strong. We will talk about their goals for sure. We will talk about them all. Great fight back from the boys tonight. Up the fucking Pids. Let's go. Big yourself up, my homie. It was, bro. It was a great fight back from the Rapids. I'm kind of surprised that we got ourselves in the hole. You know what I mean? Like we definitely got ourselves in a hole that we had to dig ourselves out of, and we left it a bit later. Crash said he's gonna join, my homies. We're gonna give him a minute, so we're just gonna wait for a minute, my homies. Um, in the meantime, let me go pulling up some stats over here. We'll go to the sofa score. This is going to be, it's definitely a different type of stream, my homies, the post-match reaction. And then, of course, it is a bit later. So, um, the kickoff did make for just threw it off. I've been wanting to do the post-match live streams. The last away match that I wanted to do it, we ended up having the 5:30 kickoff, which of course made it a bit difficult to get home and do that. And today we're playing on the West Coast, which is even an hour later compared to what we're normally used to. And I'm gonna keep it real, my homies. It is past my bedtime, but I had to stay up to watch the biddies. Um, and we're gonna be doing this on the away matches, my homies. We're gonna be doing the match reactions right afterwards. So thank you guys for keeping it locked in. We do have the sofa score pulled up. We will be going through that. I'm gonna get some more stats pulled up on the old Google. Um, let's go here. We're gonna pull up the sofa score first while we kick it and wait for the homie Crash. Let's see, where can I pull that up at, my homies? Oh, the homie's already here. Crash, you good, my homie? I just brought you out. I hope you're good.
Yeah, man, I'm good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test, test, test.
Headphones, my homie. I don't want to have no echo.
Oh, you're good, man.
How are you doing, you filthy animal? You're looking good in that green shirt, my homie.
Yep, I had to pick up the new shirt today. I didn't quite like the jersey. I like it. It's nice, just not for me. So I got the shirt instead. Um, Nuts. Going into the half, going, what the hell's going on?
Right,
And I'm like,
right.
this is peak Rapids. This is what I expect away playing against a team we could beat, but we're not. Man.
Oh
And
man.
then those two pens. I mean, we saw the one and I thought we were gonna miss it. And then I'm like, oh well, at least we got one. And then we got the second one. Nuts. I'm a bit speechless, a bit proud, and I'm hoping that this is something we see this type of determination moving forward.
Mm. Yeah. First of all, Crash, big yourself up. Thank you for joining, bro. Definitely appreciate it. The last minute show. Gotta love it, bro. Um, I have the sofa score pulled up. Let me just make sure it's on the screen. All right, cool. We're good. I got the sofa score pulled up, and we're gonna dive right into the momentum chart, which is what I see on my left side of the screen here. Seattle Sounders will be in their green, and then the Rapids are in the purple down at the bottom. Crash, just to start off the game, bro, it was almost like a fucking basketball game, dude. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Um, did you get that vibe, or am I tripping, bro? Because it really started off back and forth, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was the first 5 minutes were rough.
Yeah.
I just put it at that. With the first 5 minutes was not. I was like, oh my god, this is not great. And then we started to see some build up, and then it was back and forth, right? And I think
Hmm.
I think that was the thing. Is the first few minutes I was like, I'm worried. We're not connecting things, but then we started clicking a little bit, and then we just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was interesting. I was like these. I mean, I was worried though the guys were going to get gassed because it was so back and forth really fast, and I was like, I don't know. I didn't know what to think. There was good things and negative things and all kinds of in between for the first 20 minutes for sure.
Bro, honestly, I guess I kind of jumped a bit forward to this. Let's retrack a bit, bro, and let's talk about the starting lineup. Chris Armas goes back to the same starting lineup that we just had a couple of days ago here in Commerce City. I think I think, of course, I mean, we did talk about it, right? When I asked you, was this his best starting 11? And I think we kind of agreed that it was, right? So
Mhm.
obviously this was going to be the 11 to take the pitch against Seattle. Bro, Seattle always play us tough anyways, so I think Armas did get the selection good. A little bit later on, bro, depending on how deep we get into it, I will bring up a topic that I wanted to that I've been thinking about since earlier, and it has to do with the starting lineup. I kind of feel like when we went like this, bro, if we're not gonna get those goals off early, then we kind of seen it right now, bro. Towards the end of the
Mhm.
match, and we're trying to fight for the points. We don't necessarily have the subs there. So, was this really the ideal 11 in your opinion going into this match?
You know, the way I looked at it is I really thought it was going to be Cole and Josh in the midfield and not Cole and Ronan. I thought the rest of the team was definitely our best 11. But I was, with it being Seattle, I had a feeling Josh might get that start. And I kind of feeling like we should have started him there. And I think, disrupting in that midfield. I mean, we were getting just clobbered in the midfield. And I think,
Yeah.
he would have been able to disrupt a little bit more. I think Ronan still did a good job. I think he played a solid game. So I think it's really a toss up between really Atencio and Ronan in that midfield. That's really going to be the solid starter. I think it really depends on the game and what we're trying to do. Um, it seemed we were playing a little more defensively. Like we weren't putting like as much pressure right away. We were doing a lot of counterattack, which means I feel like we need to have a defensive midfielder in there to really block it. But that being said, I I can't knock Armis because we had a great game against Vancouver, and he's going to look at that and go, you know what, we're gonna roll these guys back because they were clicking really well in Vancouver, and it took them a while to get that same rhythm at Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, this is a damn it, flip my mic. This is a good comment because obviously we do go through periods. Let me just add, if we would have lost this game, which I know, like I hate to do the hypotheticals, but if we would have lost this game, and this is just to kind of add some context to Daniel's comment here, that would have been three times this season that we or since I forget what the date it was, but I think three times this season that we would have went on a three-game what is it, like away losing streak or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just crazy numbers, bro. So you do see stuff like that, and it does make you question it. But I don't. I mean, if I'm gonna ask that question like off the bat, I don't think it's that time yet. Crash. What about you?
No, I don't. Yeah, I tell you what though, at the first half, at the end of the first half, I was kind of feeling it. I was like, oh, maybe we made a bad decision here, but um, I think you can't put this on Armis. I think the mistake, the two goals that happened in the first half, I can chalk up to Stefan for the most part.
Mm,
The first one,
hmm
I'm not going to put it on him. He slipped, and if you watch that first half, people were slipping and falling all over the place, and it,
Well,
I
the
think
ball
it's
was deflected, Crash too. The first
right.
ball was deflected too. So yeah,
Sure, but I still think he had. I mean, you can kind of see he
yeah,
planted and just he couldn't move because
yeah,
his feet came out from under him. I still think even deflection. Still think he had it if he would have been able to plant and move. And I think that's just what you're going to get from a turf field like that. And I think that's
absolutely.
just the challenge of that. And we've got to learn how to play on it. I don't personally think we should be having MLS teams play on turf. I think it should be grass fields like everywhere else in the world, but it is what it is. And everybody plays on it, right? And so I think you can't complain about that too much, but you could obviously see it happen. The second goal, 100%, that's Stefan. So the first two goals that happen are not, you can't place that blame on anybody else. And it's 100% Stefan. I'm sure he's taking ownership of it. You go to clear a ball out like that and you clear it, you better be sprinting your butt back to the goal.
Yeah,
I don't want to see anybody like he was lazy and getting back thinking, oh, I got it down and they're going to clear it and I got time. And obviously he got beat. So can't say it's Armis. I think, the fact that they were able to come back in the second half and, even concede a goal right after, which I don't really think I caught that one too much, but it was, you know,
yeah,
it happens, right? But to be able to rally after that, fight for those
yeah.
pens, get there. I mean, that is what Armis is coaching, right? He's giving those guys an opportunity to dig
I
deep
agree.
and instilling that. So if we're talking about is Armis the right guy, I think he is. I like
I
his
agree.
mentality. I like the way he approaches the team. I love he's club first and fans first. I think there's a lot of that too, and he's got some good ideas, and I think he came to this prepared. The team hasn't showed up, and I don't think that's necessarily just on him. So
I agree. I agree 100%, bro, honestly. I just want to say big up to Luca Talks Dons. Luca puts out some excellent match day vlogs from MK Dons. Big up to yourself. Thank you for joining. Also, big up to Daniel for being here too. He didn't think Armis was going to survive after the New England game and the fourth game. I just feel like it would be very unfair to like. I mean, just based off the things that you said, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and just
mhm.
based off of what I see too. Like when I'm there, and even watching the games on the TV, the team plays for Armis. There's no doubt about it that the
Mhm.
team is definitely still, bought into the Armis philosophy. Armis has a good relationship with the fans, with the players. I'm assuming with the team in general. Um, if the dressing room was lost, then I would probably at that point, you know what I mean? That's the tall tale sign that the manager might be the one that needs to go, right?
Yeah.
Um, but even like I know we're not really, this isn't really like the show, but like even like the Kevin Cabral situation right now, the team is handling it perfect, and that probably has to do with Chris Armas as well. Like they're
Mhm.
handling a lot of the situations that go on well, like Armas does. I have no issues with the way Armas has been coaching. I more so have an issue with the output from the players
Mhm.
because I feel like the philosophy is there. Look, I've bigged Armis up massively on this channel a lot, and I will continue to do so because Armis is a coach that sees the opponent and does try to change. At the beginning of the season, we went through three, maybe four different formation changes before he felt like he found the one that he wanted to settle on for the
Mhm.
majority of the part. Um, he I feel like he rides the players' rhythms as well. He's good. He's good on the like the momentum,
Mhm.
which could be bad part sometimes too. But I feel like Armis just nails it, and a lot of this is up to the players. Today,
Oh yeah.
it's tough. Today it's unfair to say, we could chalk it up to individual errors from Zach Steffen, but we're not gonna shy away from it and not bring light to the fact that the homie made some errors that led to goals today.
Yeah.
And if bro, Rusnak, if that's how I'm pretty sure that's the dude's name.
Yeah.
Rusnak had a fucking two goals on us today. Loves a goal against the Rapids, whether it was for Real Salt Lake or now for these lot.
Mhm.
He's scoring against us. I saw the replay on that goal. What was it, like a 40-yard freaking punt
Yeah.
from him that he scores on?
Mhm.
Bro, he took a look before the ball even lands in front of him. He reads the pitch, looks over to the goal, sees that Zach Steffen is nowhere near the goal, knows where he's going to put his shot at, and scores a goal. Is that Armis's tactics, or is that just lack of perception? Is that lack of did lack of concentration on the moment? You know what I mean? Because he Stefan just hoofed the ball up there. The Rusnik looks at it, licks his chops, and has a go at it, bro,
Yeah.
and then scores a lovely goal. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
The only thing that I can knock on, I mean, there were some defensive errors. I
yeah.
think, at the very beginning in some of the group chats that I was in, we were talking about, it seemed like Cheeto was a little lazy.
Mm,
And, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if he's really leaving, how hard of you're playing for pride at that point, right? You're like, I'm out. I have no ties to this team other than just want a good solid game to leave on. So if that's really a deal that's already done, why does he care? And so maybe he's just playing conservatively and trying not to get injured or, screw something up. And I could see that happening. And so, maybe there, you could look at an Armis thought of not playing him, maybe you play Murphy in this instead, but, maybe he got I'm sure he looked at Cheeto and says, is this something you're doing? Right. He might have even brought it up and had that conversation. But you can see it was a little bit there, and there's some defensive errors in that back line. Don't get me wrong. I think that they played well in moments, and then some of the moments they didn't play well, right? And you could see how they are getting the ball forward and putting it in a dangerous place. In just some sloppy play on Vines, clearing balls, and this is not just Vines either. There's others, So there's some of that sloppy play that I think you could probably put on Armis, like to drill into them about, how to, playing this. But again, he's not the one playing sloppy. It's those guys, those putting those kind of sloppy errors and things into it. So, you know, I think this was a player led um, uh, defeat in the first half, I guess you could say, right? And I think Armis's conversation in the locker room probably gave him a bit of a pep talk, but they also did come out a little sluggish, right? We got that third goal,
mhm,
and then that pen breathed life into them.
mm.
I don't know where it came from, how it came from, or where it started, who got into it. I would love to be on the field to say, hey, this person was the one that just barked everyone awake and got them going. But however it happened, I'm happy it happened because it was the first time we've seen that
Absolutely.
team. The meme from last year with was it the South Park meme? You know, I'm not
I
dead
didn't hear
yet.
no
Or,
bell.
I
Yeah, I
hear
didn't
no
hear no
bell. That's it,
bell.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear no
Like
bell.
that was the first time I've seen this team do that this season, and it was
Facts.
fantastic.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're actually right, bro. Um, yeah, you got to applaud the heart that the team showed, but on the opposite end, like we fucking shouldn't have gotten ourselves in that position to begin with, anyways. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Chicken or the egg,
yo,
right?
yeah, I heard the commentators saying that we're ranked 29th in possession. How about that, bro? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about it is last season we were very, very possession oriented, and
Mhm.
I felt like we thrived on, having that possession, wearing teams out. And when we didn't have the possession, we were really like gung ho on this press and
Mhm.
just wearing opponents out and just controlling the possession. And now, like, it's been like this season we've been having to deal with coming back on games like this, or barely nicking a win, or being up and blowing the lead. So it's been very unpredictable in that point. I definitely will say that, but
Mhm.
it's also been like the games that we've lost or that we've drawn have been very small margins as well. I can't really think of a game where like we definitely got blown out. I mean, there
Mhm.
was the Portland match we did get blown out, I want to say, maybe, but was it the Portland
Yeah.
match?
Let's
There
see.
were some games, but it's not like um we're always in the game, Crash. Like I feel like we're always in the game, bro.
Yeah, I mean, with LAFC was the last one that I remember us really getting blown out. Obviously, we were down, down a man from the beginning.
Yeah,
I don't, but yeah,
yeah,
if you look back at the recent form, the past 5 games or so, yeah, we haven't got all the results. The New England, we lost the lead. We tied 3-3. We should have won that one. The Sporting Kansas City, we lost 1-2. We've always been in the games, and I think that's the
yeah,
key. Is like the past run of form has been pretty solid. We just haven't quite clicked enough to get it there. But let's see, the only other ones that I remember. Let's see, that was back in May. I'm trying to see here what the last one. You know, yeah, I mean, we had some kind of bad results earlier on, but yeah, yeah, Portland was the last one, and Vancouver 2-0 away.
hmm
Um, those are the two biggest ones I can think of that we were really blown out. Portland was the last,
yeah,
3-0, that we had. So I think, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's been relatively close, but it just hasn't been enough. And so
yeah.
we could have gotten that fourth goal. I didn't expect us to get that fourth goal, but I was also being very pessimistic because I hate being like, let's go and we're gonna win, and then we're the PIDs, so
I
usually the opposite happens.
I thought our fourth goal would have been more was closer than um a Seattle goal. Honestly, I just felt like that. I felt like we definitely gained the momentum after
Oh
those
yeah,
two pens. Um, I mean, and even then, like you want to talk about just the Rapids' form all season being, I guess, somewhat inconsistent. We kind of did that to ourselves this game, bro, because we go down by a lot and then we power through it. Um, After halftime again, the same shit, bro. Another goal conceded early on, shoot ourselves in the foot again. But then, yeah, we find like this second win, bro, and you just feel like we got it. Um, and even at 3-3 towards the end of the match, we started to let them gain some momentum at the end of the match there, bro. We started to like fouls were left and right there towards the end of the match, and we were letting them back into it to pick up a groove. Even then, I still kind of felt like another goal was still there. 10 minutes of added time, Crash. What the hell, bro? That was like a whole nother half.
yeah. I didn't expect that. I was expecting maybe 4 or 5, but to get that, I mean, it's like the penalties and everything didn't take that much time, so I was really confused by it. But yeah,
I agree.
I think at that point, though, I think the extra 10 minutes, you could tell it in the guys. They were so gassed
Oh
that
yeah.
they weren't gonna come back. They were trying, but they had no legs. I think they had put all their tank into the 90 and didn't have a whole lot left.
Ooh. Yeah, you're right, bro. Hoffa was really gassed there. I want to get your opinion on the penalty taken situation. Thoughts on Georgie taking the first one and then leaving the second one for Cole Bassett, right?
Yeah, yeah. Georgia taking it made sense. I mean, I didn't expect Hoffa to take it necessarily. I
Right.
think, especially after that miss, I think Georgie's our natural pen taker, and
Absolutely.
I was very surprised with Cole taking the second one. But although I couldn't watch any of them because I just couldn't handle it missing again.
Mm,
But Cole blasting the second one. I mean, let's all just take penalties like that every time because you're not
yeah.
saving those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the penalties that we've been looking for, and that's what the critique I have on Hoffa is like take him like Cole, just step up, blast it, put it up top of top of the goal, top corner, whatever it is, and they're not saving it.
I
Done.
agree. I
And so I
agree,
was really
bro.
impressed. I was really happy with his ability to get that one in, and but I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I definitely agree. What about like your player of the match for the Rapids? Who would you give it to?
I honestly I think it would have to go to Navajo for me. I think his ability and what he was doing on the ball, getting creating those pens. I think although he even had a couple good opportunities. I felt bad for him in the end. I think Reggie almost had that one goal,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
fourth goal,
Yeah.
but you could see he came running forward and took that ball, and Hoffa was like the was right behind him, like ready to just take the ball from and I think I think Reggie had a great shot and it was a good opportunity and he took it, which was awesome. But I also think Hoffa, had that ball ready to go. Whether he could have got a shot off or otherwise, I have no clue. But you could definitely tell he was close and he wanted to
Yeah.
get it.
I I uh I thought Mihailovic, of course, was good. Another goal, another assist, a goal and assist today. Two contributions there. Look, bro, I'm a fan of Bassett playing a bit deeper. I thought he did very well today too. I mean, and it shows. The penalty, of course, with his goal. Yeah, he got his goal there, but I mean, you see it. He's in the 7-2, one of our highest players there, just slightly behind Navarro.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, bro, we've talked about this on different streams, and I think you even said the other day, like this is probably where he needs to play. And when he plays in that deeper position, like I feel like it just helps the team click better for
It
some
does.
reason.
It does. I think it's where he's naturally meant to be, and like I think the biggest challenge all season has been Armas is playing him because it's the biggest challenge. Is like he has a lot of good midfielders, and so who do I play in a different position?
Yeah,
And so he wants to get Cole on the field, so he's putting Cole everywhere else. And I think we see it now. We've got Ollie, Josh, Ronan, and Cole there. Cole needs to be
mm,
starting every game in that position. Double pivot, that's where he needs to be. The other three, it's up in the air. It's up in the air, and I think that's the challenge that we're running into. And we saw it today as our depth in the midfield isn't
yeah,
necessarily a problem. Our depth at the wing is the problem, right?
yeah,
Koo had to come out, out of the game, and we subbed in Ollie, which
yeah,
Ollie's fine, but you're not getting that dangerous winger that you're going
yeah,
to get from. So we are sorely lacking in our depth in the wings, and I really, really, really hope we see some inbound, transfers from that depth. Cabral not being on the bench again, second
yeah,
game. So I mean, I think like what we talked about on Monday, he has to be on his way somewhere, not in Colorado, because
oh,
him not being on the bench, not being at the Sunday meet the team party,
yeah,
and then again not traveling with the team to Seattle. I'm assuming he's on his way out, which I think is a great thing. Maybe they bought his contract out, he's gone, but it looks like we're making some sort of move in the transfer um, coming up in what next week.
Yeah. Big up the Hotspur hippie. Big up all the way to Australia with this one, my homie. He saw the emergency status and he had to watch. This is an emergency stream right now. You cannot be anywhere else but right here, right now. My homie Crash and I were sucking up all the algorithm views right now. Ain't that
There we
right,
go.
Crash?
That's it. I threw it on my Twitter. Hopefully people see it. I don't know if anybody's still awake, but
Oh yeah, that's what it
I
is. That's what
I
it
will
is. It's a free.
say after that game, I don't know how you can necessarily go to sleep because I was a mess the whole time, and I need to unwind. So I'm happy. I was very happy when I saw the emergency stream. I'm like, what? Leo's
Yeah,
on.
let's
I gotta
go.
jump on. I
Let's
gotta get
go.
on here. So yeah,
Yeah, let's
it's
go.
good to decompress.
It is, bro. It is. It is. And like I said earlier, I wanted to do it after the New England match, but a 5:30 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday, bro, I got shit to do, bro. You know what I mean? Like I was lucky I even got to watch any of the game.
Right.
Um, but yeah, nah, but big up to everybody in the chat, either now live or on playback. Um, Look, bro, just to kind of to caveat what you were saying, the homie Greg and I kind of had the conversation through text during the match, and we're kind of talking just about that, homie, how, you know, Bassett and Ronan, and I said it earlier, are offensively very good, bro, of course, but
Mhm.
as when we're tired legs and we have to do that substitution, bro, you're taking off Cudi Pietro for Oliver Larraz. That's not even a like for like, and we're sitting here trying to chase the game or look for that go ahead goal. It's never gonna happen in that case. You honestly, like at that point, bro, you just kind of like, all right, well, and this is one thing I've never seen Armis kind of like fall back and say, all right, let's defend this lead and try to ride it out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So his hands are kind of tied there when you do those substitutions there at the end of the game, and you got no depth, bro, on the wing. You're right. Because
Yeah.
now it's not just Cabral that's gone. Omir Fernandez just left not
Right.
too long ago. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's two players, bro, that definitely
Mhm.
we're lacking.
Yep.
I picked other in the poll. I'm ignorant about the Colorado blunts apart from the other one here. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's all right. You're definitely entitled to pick other, my hobby.
Well, that's yeah. And that's the thing is like, I think even commentators at some point had that conversation, and there was a stark disparity between what they were talking about with Seattle, where Seattle's like they might not have that like that one key like knockout player, but their depth from the top down to their bench is solid.
Yeah.
And so they had that extra. I mean, we were able to, kind of make it through to the end, right? But I think the key of it is that, we need that winger help, right? And I think we need that at, midfield. I don't think we need anything there. But I mean, in reality, I mean, we lost two wingers, right?
Yeah.
We need to have another, two or somebody to step up, right? And I think, we have KSB, we have Sam Bassett, some other guys there that are kind of filling in that spot. But I think we threw in too much when it came to our midfield, and we need to really double down on our attack.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. I have to come back here. Let me get the screen back up, my homie. I thought Cudi Pietro played pretty well today. Um, he's very eager always, bro. He seems like he's a good fucking spark to have on the
Mhm.
team. Because he definitely he's not like a speedy winger, but he definitely uses his body to get in between the ball and the defender.
Mhm.
Uh, I often joke. I say like he's a girthy kid, bro. You know what I mean? And he's got a wicked shot on him.
Mhm.
Seattle looked like some dirty bastards there, man. They definitely played like some today, my homie. The lack of depth is killing us. We were desperate for some fresh legs and didn't have any options. Only used 3 subs and didn't give KSB a run out.
That's
Thoughts
it.
on Greg's comment?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. I think the benefit of I think one strength of Armis is he knows what his team is capable of,
Mm,
and I think in this moment he was like, our best chance is playing with what we got. So he subbed what he needed to, which was a Josh, Ollie, and then
mm,
getting Yappy on there. And then who else is he going to? He's not going to his bench. He's not subbing in fullbacks. He's not subbing in center back. And, he's not subbing in rookie wingers that may or may not make a legit mistake that loses this. And I
yeah.
think that's the key that we're struggling with is there needs to be some solid depth on the bench on both sides of the ball that allows us to change the
Mm,
game. And I think that's the key where I think we've got some good depth on the defensive side. I mean, I think Keegan,
yeah.
Murphy, Travis, good solid people that can either sub in because of an injury or come in to lock a game down, but we don't have that game changing on the attack that we need, and you can see it today.
Yeah. Donna Collins says, Mr. Leo, why are you still awake? Because the Rapids just finished a little, like over an hour ago. And like Crash said, how can you go to bed after that? I mean, we were down 3-0, come back 3-3. But, even apart from like the comeback to get the point, I think the announcers were talking how like we don't ever pick up a result there anyways. Like to,
Yeah.
to pick up the draw at their place alone is that's worth a shout. So yeah, of course, we definitely have to talk about that. I mean,
Well, and
Seattle. Go ahead, Crash.
I would say, and the Pids broke another record by being the only team that has come back from a 3-0 deficit against Seattle to, not give them the win. I
Mm.
guess Seattle's never been up by 3 and lose or tie.
Or yeah, and not come out with the 3 points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, you got to think the inception of that club, and then not have that as a comeback or an opportunity. I mean, that says a lot as well. So
absolutely. What about Rusnak, bro? He's just a filthy little dude, bro. Definitely, like I said earlier, likes a goal against the Rapids, bro. Unacceptable, homie. Unacceptable.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
bro. Uh,
So I was going to say one of the things. So Josh's brother, I think, was on Twitter, and he was kind of, you know, talking, a little bit of smack because his brother hadn't started, and we weren't doing so well. But he made some good points. Ollie and Josh, really locked down the midfield when we played them the last time.
mm,
And I think that's the one thing that I think we were attack minded where the others are defense minded. So I think that's one thing you got to think about is would Ollie and Josh would Josh had a better opportunity to kind of lock him down more than the way we had before. And I think
yeah,
that's something to keep in mind. And I think probably Armis will be looking at going into Philadelphia in like 10 days or so.
yeah,
So that's it was interesting to think through some of those, like what was the best formation against this team, and
absolutely.
it's interesting to kind of balance that out a little bit.
I think yeah, bro, and with that, I'm even inclined to say that, albeit that this may be our best 11 probably going forward,
Mhm.
I think we need to sacrifice that a bit if we're gonna go with Cole, and we have to definitely either do an Atencio or a Ronin and a Larraz, or one and the other. You know what I mean? Not just both too similar. Donna Cole and Big Up. Well, it was designed when I was ahead of. Yeah, well, you're not there anymore, Donna Colin. And you got sacked. But yeah. Um, what about Sam Vines, bro? Gave away the ball a few times, like literally chipping the ball to the
Yeah.
Seattle players, and thankfully they didn't. I don't really think they led to a goal, either of those, but they did lead to, obviously a dangerous opportunity. Um,
Yeah, no,
thoughts on Vines?
yeah, I thought the same thing. There was those a couple just plays that just seems they weren't thought through. I think it was a reaction, and I think that's something that he hasn't really been in solid form yet. I think you can kind of see him living in two different worlds, and there's a couple good opportunities, but he has to get it clicking. And I think
Um,
he's not quite there. I think, where Reggie's fully in, but he's been playing and starting like every game this season for the most part, right? And so I think, Vines is, I'm going to give him a little bit of grace, but also he's also not quite living up to
no,
expectations. So I'm hoping maybe he's still dealing with a nagging injury and we don't have a better option, or who knows. But I'm hoping to see him catch some form here. Maybe he can shake it off here in the next couple next game or the next run through League's Cup and find some good form.
absolutely. Hey, Sam Vines, I think last season, even though he was out with some injuries and shit, he still contributed with 7 goals last season. And this,
Yeah,
yeah,
damn.
yeah. No. I'm pretty sure that's what the announcers
Hmm.
were saying, and I was like, yeah, that's hectic. Um, it kind of feels like I don't want to say like a lot of the players, but it does feel like the majority of the players have kind of I don't want to say maybe stepped their game back, but they haven't really reached the same levels that they were at last season, if that makes sense. And I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what that could be attributed to, but like I said, it's not that they've saying that they've dropped their level sounds a bit harsh. I
Mhm.
guess, like I said, the best way of putting it is they just have not lived up to it, bro.
Well, and I think too, you got to think about where we came from and what we were playing for. Last season, there was no expectations, like zero expectations on how good we were going to do. Like anything was better than the season before, right? And I think even, we won the Rocky Mountain Cup. We made it to the playoffs. We had that terrible run form really at the end of the season and barely kind of scratched our way in.
Yeah,
And then had LA, and then had relatively bad results. I mean, the last one at home, I think, or we played all right. I think we had some good shots, but obviously they dominated us, right? But there was no like you could just play, you could just have fun. Like there was like what's going to happen? Like if we don't quite get it, we'll figure it out and we'll get better next year. This year, I think there's a level of expectation. You've got a lot of these guys, Georgie and Zach and some of these other guys that are trying to get attention maybe with their national teams or otherwise. And, and I think, or people are playing for their next contract, or, I think that's the other thing too, is at the end of the year, there's a fair amount of contracts that are going to be up and people are looking for their next thing or move on. So I think there's just a level of intensity or stress that's kind of put on themselves, and we're seeing it.
yeah. My bad. I'm gonna say I wanted to bring up Hippie's comment here. Crash. So we are playing uh the homie laughs because this is our derby, right? This is our derby against Real Salt Lake, and
Mhm.
I tell him there's a whole freaking region of mountains in between the two sides, but it's still our local derby, you mofo. Um, but I wanted to say, Crash, and people in the chat. So the Rapids chartered a bus to the game for Real Salt Lake in October.
Mhm.
And the C38 is getting us our tickets for free. So I'm gonna go on the bus, right? and gonna go stay out there for the night.
Nice.
Another Rapids away match to go watch. This time the derby match against Real Salt Lake at their place. So it's gonna be hectic, bro. I'm pumped for that. So
That would
uh,
be fun. Yeah, I was talking with one of my fellow season ticket holders we share seats with, and we were talking about trying to get to an away match, and we were saying, oh, we should do Salt Lake, but I'll have to look at the calendar and see with games and coaching and stuff.
yeah.
But it would be the one that would be fun, I think, just to see that one. So we might attend. We don't know yet, but we'll see.
Well, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, bro, because it's a ride there and a ride back. So that saves me my gas money. The
Mhm.
only thing I have to pay for, which I already did, was my hotel, which is already reserved. So, uh, yeah, bro, I'm all for it. Let's go. Que huevos de los Rapids, my homie Victor. Let's go. The height of those SLCers calling themselves real. Yeah, I'm Brad Pitt. There you go. Get in.
That's
Get
right.
in. Uh, a tie with the taste of exactly right. A tie with the taste of victory. What a good way to put it, bro. A tie with the taste of victory. Um, Crash. Any standout performance? Anything that really caught your eye, bro? Anything that you would say that is worth bringing up or talking about, or anything that you would like to continue to talk about?
Yeah, the only thing we haven't talked about is how Yappy is the only person that can change a game off the bench on our team.
Yappy
And
hour.
Yappy Hour, I joked when he came on. I was like, "Oh, Yappy Hour is going to happen," and I didn't really expect it to happen.
Yeah,
So,
I think you're muted, homie. Yeah, happy hour. We're gonna head at this banner right here by the homie gets the mic situated. Crash, I think even too in the comment in the chat with the homie Greg. As soon as he comes on, is definitely Yappy Hour. Let's see here. Crash might have to come back on, my homies. Bear with it. But yeah, I want to talk a bit about Yappy myself too because um, here I am bitching about the way we did our substitutions and how when our players go off and we're sitting here trying to, chase the game and look for the goal. We really haven't had much to rely on except for Darren Yappy. I think they said his fourth goal and this season, so definitely making improvements on from last season. And Crash, you good? Let's go.
can you
You
hear me?
good, my homie? Yeah, yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good, Crash.
My earbud was going dead.
Oh yeah, no, and I was gonna say StreamYard does be doing some StreamYard things every once in a while too, bro. Trust me. So um but go
But
ahead, homie. You were
yeah,
saying about Yappy.
but yeah, I mean, like, Yappy comes on, and I kind of joked at Yappy Hour, but in reality, he's one awesome that he can actually change a game. That's fantastic. Having that ability, and I'm glad to see that. But Yeah, so I mean, you got to give him flowers for doing that. Being able to
Mm,
come out, really, he's been putting in the work this year, and it's exciting to see him with the amount of goals and contributions he's had. And so it's I would for a while we were like we need that second striker, that extra person up front. I'm
right.
not worried about the second striker at this point. I think between him and Hoffa, I feel pretty confident, and there's some additional people there, but it's and so that's just the exciting. We have at least one person who can change a game. That's great. Let's get a
Uh,
few more. So
yeah.
yeah, so
No,
so flowers to Yappy for sure.
you're absolutely right, bro. I think one of our least worries of position would be finding a suitable, maybe not just a backup for Hoffa, but somebody that could play off the side or play with Hoffa. You know what I mean? Because they do complement each other very well. I know today he was more on the wing, but even then, Hoffa inserts himself into the game so much when he drops back that when he's catching back up into the play, he's always linking up with all the players, not just Yappy, but you see him laying off the ball. We've seen goals this season where Hoffa gets that long ball played through him and dinks it over for
Yeah.
Yappy. We've seen a goal like that. So um that's a positive for me, homie.
Yeah.
Definitely. Calvin Harris was unlucky not to keep his goal streak going, but um, didn't really have the most productive game either today. Um, let's see here. By the looks of it, the two that were the worst were Cheeto and Sam Vines on that left hand side there. You're right, bro. Cheeto just didn't look like he was up for it today, bro. And you kind of got to wonder what's if the stuff is playing on the back of his mind there. Victor says, I think besides the point we bring back, this tie has more value as a morale booster for the team.
Sure does.
It should, bro, and it definitely should because apart from it being a tie with a taste of victory, our backs were literally. I don't even want to say our backs were against the rope. We got knocked down a few times, got up, and we're definitely wilted there for a bit, bro.
Yeah.
And we're
Well,
still able to.
and think about like what he was saying, right? It's about what was the comment? It was a moral boost, right? And I agree. Yeah, think about this too. If you looked at this run of 4 games, LAFC, Vancouver at home, Seattle, and now we're going to Philly in next week.
Yeah.
Um, those 4 games, I was going into it going, we're going to lose all of these games. I didn't expect us to get a
Mm,
point out of any of them, right? LAFC, we're in BMO Stadium in LA. We never win there, and then we get the red card. It happens, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
expect to win that one or even get a point from that. Vancouver, Vancouver's one of the better teams in the West. They've had better run form, but that usually spells no matter. We're usually the get right game for a lot of people, so I
Yeah.
expected us not to do much there. We get the win and a big win. We come to Seattle, expect to lose. We actually come out with the tie out of these past 3 games, where I expected us to get really none, maybe one, if that. And so already it's a moral victory.
Absolutely.
If we can take this momentum and go into Philly and get another result, and maybe even if we get a draw, that's 5 points out of these past 4 games. That's way more than we ever expected. And if we can even come out ahead and win against Philly for some odd reason, I mean, they played Montreal today, I think, and it
Mm,
was close. It was
mm.
a I think a 2-1 victory maybe. Um, you know, eh, so I think there's an opportunity for us to really, show it, and it's a cross conference game where is Philly really going to show up? Are they got priorities? They're playing the Rapids. Are they going to rotate? Are they going to do the? What are they going to do? We don't know. But I don't think that they're going to look at us like we're going to be the people coming in to take them down. So there could be a mentality shift on that one. I know they're fighting to stay in first and supporter shield and those kinds of things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how we show up in that game. And that game is going to be the determining factor if this team is really pushing past an opportunity to get out of what that old form was and saying we're going to finish this season strong and fight for the playoffs. If we can do that, I have a lot of confidence in this team. If we get a lost result, whatever, then we have Leagues Cup and hopefully we have some inbound transfers and make it work. But we have a good opportunity here to really prove a point that we're not just the Rapids and we're gonna struggle at the bottom.
Uh, yeah. I was looking at the schedule earlier today, and I honestly thought that we had a lot more football to go for left, but
And games,
I
man.
mean, yeah, like I thought we still a bit more. Victor says he 100% agrees with you, but the Rapids don't take advantage of those home games, and this is a good fucking comment here, bro. If we're very inconsistent as well at home, and that's been hurting us as well for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, I
that's
mean,
been very.
inconsistent across the board, but yeah, we have to get results at home. I mean, that's for now on. Home has to be a fortress, otherwise we have no shot.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But
Yeah, I'm just seeing right there. We're 8 wins, 6 draws, 10 losses, a -6 goal differential, 34-36 against us.
Mhm.
And I mean, no, really nothing's changed, I guess, table wise since our last stream. I mean, we're still sitting around the same area. The teams in and amongst us. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess that's still a good thing, Crash, because we're not dropping any further down. It'd be better if we were gaining, but I mean, at least we're sticking with the pack. At this
Yeah.
point, if the season was to end today, we're in playoffs. We're playing against
Yeah.
Minnesota, so.
Well, the problem is though is you got to look at we played 24 games and the rest haven't.
Oh,
So
fucking hell, you're
yeah.
right.
So the problem that we have is we don't have room to drop points
You're
anymore.
right. We don't
And
play this
so
weekend, and other teams do.
yeah, exactly. So there's most everybody's playing this weekend. So you got to look at that and say, okay, we're 4 games. LA's only played 20. Portland's got 22, Seattle's got 22, Austin has 22, San Jose has 23. San Jose and Austin are both, 1 or 2 games behind us, and they're
Yeah,
at points with us. And
yeah.
then you got Salt Lake. Look at them. We've got their 2 games. They've got 2 games on
And
us,
yeah,
and we're only 2 points off of us. So I think the key of this one is we need points done.
absolutely.
And and for us to drop points, we're going to be pretty close. So even Houston's 1 game off of us and only 4 points off.
Yeah.
So we could be in 12th place with 2 bad results really fast, or
How
we could be in 11th place and not do anything. They just catch up. And so I think that's the key is we have to keep playing to win every game.
Crash, we're the only team on 24 games.
Yep, exactly.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, no, that happens. I mean, definitely that happens. You get teams that are still in Champions League or that were in Champions League and, teams that went. Yeah, so obviously that's going to happen. But yeah, bro, the Rapids, we cannot be uh frugal with these goals that we're giving away. I mean, we need to be frugal with these goals that we're giving away, bro, and with these points that we're giving away. Um,
Well, and I think too is that we really need. I mean, we're 6 goals down on our differential, and that needs
mm,
to change. We need to get some wins, and we need to get some 2-0 wins. We need to get some 3-1 wins. We need to get some positive goals in differentials. Coming up. Otherwise, we're going to be struggling down in the playoffs, and we're going to be fighting for those bottom spots. And
mm.
I think we can get there. I mean, we got 10 games. We got 10 games left, I think is what it is, right? 34 games. Could we get there? Yeah, I think we can. It's just going to be tough. And I think we scrap into the playoffs one way or the other, but exactly, Victor, we can't lose winnable games. From here on out, we don't have the opportunity for that. We lose winnable games, we're not making the playoffs. That's what's going to happen.
I agree. I agree. Yo, let me ask you this, bro. Considering where we're at right now, let's see. Let's just be a fly on a wall here at one of these Rapids meetings. You look in the future. We have one more game left until we're in Leagues Cup. Leagues Cup's what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
tournament long, where you could play up to 6, 7 games. We're
Mm-hmm.
already playing 3 games out of that. Let's say we make it to third place match again. We're playing another 7 games. Do you focus? Do you try and go for that, or do you? What I'm trying to get at is last season we didn't know we were going to go on that run in the Leagues Cup. We kind of just fluked it and got as far as we did,
Yeah.
and we kind of dealt with that on our domestic form because after that our form dipped, and that's when Cole Bassett got hurt. We dealt with that injury towards the end. We kind of went down after that high. Would you take the possibility of saying, all right, we've seen what we did last season in the League's Cup, can we go for it this season? Or would you just say, fuck it, let's just play these 3 games, see what happens? If we advance, we go for it, knowing that we still have that possibility of that spiraling down again, or just that fatigue. Because if we're having an issue right now with a bit of a depth problem, or a bit of, puzzle pieces in the right position, or whatever the case is, where
Mhm.
this is going to be amplified even more if we go deep into this league's cup run.
Yeah, no, totally. I It's tough. I
It's tough,
think
bro.
you're gonna. I think at the end of the day, Armis is gonna try to, like he said, win every trophy that they can. And if there is an opportunity for us that we can do that, I think he's gonna try for it. Um, but at the other side of that is we need inbound transfers
Mm,
for the League's Cup. We need to use that game as an opportunity to get them up to speed and up to par, and it's a matter of throwing that away. I don't really personally care so much about the League's Cup. I think it's a great
mm.
opportunity. If we can get to third, great. If we're getting into
Champions League.
Champions League
Yeah.
because of it, great. But at the end of the day, we want to get in the playoffs and we want to run for that. Um, so I don't know what will happen, but it really depends on who we have coming in. If we have nobody coming in during Leagues Cup, I don't
We're
care.
fucked.
Just use it as
Yeah,
just
I
scrimmage,
agree.
and I think that's what I would look at it. But if we have people coming in, if the front office has been prepared and they've got people like on day one ready to rock and go, then let's get them a go. Let's get them right in the team. Let's play, and get them 30 minutes, or 45 minutes. Get them in at the half. I don't know, whatever we got. I mean, what's the worst thing that happens? We lose, and we get crashed out at the beginning, and we get more time for those guys to mesh. It's fine, but I think they're going to mesh while playing. We just need the depth, so we're not burning out all our guys.
Yeah. Leagues Cup is definitely, I mean, what it would be like the fourth year they're doing it now, fourth, fifth year now that they're doing it. So it's
Yeah, something like
still
that.
a bit of a newer competition, and I'm sure these teams are still trying to find a good balance of even how to add a potential for having another 5 games added onto your already busy
Mhm.
schedule list. And Victor's right. Like, it won't be a walk in the park. Don't get me wrong. And of course, we shouldn't underestimate the Paisa teams. They're definitely gonna want to come in and beat any MLS teams. Um,
Oh yeah, for sure.
let's see. Just educating myself on MLS and commenting dumb crap to help the algorithm. I've banged in 6 of the 7 cities. Kansas City was the best, but we also had a weekend in Denver, all the West Conference too. My homie lives all the way in Australia.
Nice.
Yeah, he's tuning in all the way from over there. In the future, he's in the future right now. So,
Sure, love it. Yeah.
yeah, big up, my homie. Appreciate you being here. Crash, I mean, I kind of just wanted to hop on and like you said, bro, I was either gonna be on here talking with you, or in the room, probably browsing some sort of Rapids press conference or something right now. So
Mhm.
definitely glad you joined me, homie, and decided to stream. Anything else, bro? I mean, we kind of touched on some talking points. You wanted to talk about Yappy a bit. um, Anything else that you wanted to touch on? Anything else, bro?
No, man.
Any-
Just I think the key of it is I think we as supporters and fans need to just focus on the positives and the fact that we've gotten 4 points out of these past 2 games.
Mm.
We didn't expect to get much, and let's keep that positive train rolling into Philly, and see if we get a result out of that. But I mean, I'm liking more what I'm seeing than I have in the past than I did last month, right? So I'm looking at the positives and grateful for what we got ahead of us, and let's see what we can do.
The homie Greg says, in a vacuum, going to Seattle and getting a point is a good result, and we shouldn't lose sight of that. Absolutely. No,
100%.
absolutely. This was definitely a win, in the sense that we probably didn't or weren't even expected to get anything out of it,
Oh,
especially going down 3-0. So
mhm.
nothing to say about that. But I'm definitely happy that we did that. Um, I thought we were gonna get four. I'm not gonna lie. I thought we were gonna get four. The homie says Philly is winnable.
I I'm not going to say it out loud, but I think it's anything is possible with this team for sure. And typically we go into a game where we should lose. Either we do or we don't. But I don't know. Is Philly a turf field or is it a grass field? Because we don't play that well on turf. It seems like.
That's
At least,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe we're used to it now, and so we're better. But can Crash support the Spurs? Let's put it this way: if we're all in a bar together, I'm rooting for the Spurs with you guys. That's for sure.
Let's go. I just say, yeah, he says that because there's the Rapids. This that we're doing here is definitely we're touching our toes into like unknown waters. As to like where the Spurs content, bro, it's like everywhere, right? And live streams, you have people going at it, and your opinion doesn't matter because mine's better, and you don't know shit because you don't live in Denver, you live across the ocean. So how would you know anything about it? So it's always good to talk with rational fans, bro. You know what I mean? And it helps that we're supporting the same team, Crash.
Yep, definitely. Well, there we go. I will say, and I get it. There's a lot more invested with hundreds of years of football over in England and things, but yeah, this is all for fun. I think like I
Absolutely.
mentioned, was it last week? These guys, and I even wrote it on the wall on the tour, on the locker room tour for the wall as they walk out. Have fun. These guys are getting play. These guys get paid to do and play a sport that we all love, and that's all that matters. As long as they're having a good time, putting in a good effort, like like they did today, they came back. I'm happy with that. If we don't make
Absolutely.
the playoffs and they're still trying, they're still fighting, they're dealing with a front office and an ownership group that aren't really investing what they want into this team, what they probably should, and that's fine. But
Absolutely.
if the team and the coach are putting in 100% every week, let's have fun. That's all I care about.
Absolutely. It's all about fun. We're gonna
And
end this one.
homies like you, man.
Absolutely. And homies like this, we're gonna leave this one on a fun note, my homies. I appreciate everybody just spending some time with the homies. Smash a like, subscribe to the best Colorado Rapids content channel. Uh and the only one, I guess, for that matter right now.
There's only a few, and I think
Yeah.
this is the best. Let's go.
Let's go. Have a good one, my homies. You
Thanks, man.
filthy animals. Let's go.